What's up everyone, it's DB, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use this industrial lumber mill that we just got in this last update for Roblox Islands. So if you're wondering how to set this up so that it's completely automated, or maybe you just don't even know how to set it up, period, this video is for you. All you're going to need is a couple tools that will actually spam the F key as well as auto click the left mouse button. So before I begin, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Let's get at it. So what I'm standing on right now is obviously the winter. So we're in winter right now. So all the grass looks like it has snow, but we are going to be planting on this. This is not actual snow. This is a grass block. So we're going to be planting on what looks to be snow today. So don't try to plant your trees on snow. It is just going to be grass blocks here. So you can see grass, it looks white, right? So that is grass. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually line these up. But one thing you're going to notice, I'm actually using glass. So I would actually recommend glass or some other kind of block. You can also use coal blocks or something, but you want a non-grass block at first to place everything. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to actually set up this platform. You're also going to need some conveyors. You don't have to use conveyors, but I like conveyors because then I don't actually have to run and walk and stuff. I can pretty much auto move on conveyors without even having to do anything. So we're going to pretty much create a double block wall here so that we can put our conveyor in between. We're also going to need a spawn block. It only costs 10,000 coins. So we're going to need our spawn block, which is a set spawn. Alternatively, you can use an obby flag. So if you only have start obby flags, those will work just as well. So you don't have to use a spawn block if you don't want to. So that is a pretty good wall here. Now what we're going to do is we need a bunch of conveyors. So we're going to create a little conveyor path here. So just put all these here. And, you know, and this design will actually work no matter the number of lumber mills you use. I'm going to be using 13 here, or maybe even 12. But you can see I've got my conveyor land here. So let's go back all the way over here. We're going to actually do another strip of blocks, and it's going to be 2 blocks high. Because again, we don't want to accidentally like move off this conveyor, especially with sometimes, I don't know why, but sometimes depending on your camera angle, you might also kind of get stuck on your conveyor. So we do this so we don't get stuck on our conveyor. And then we're going to do a double block on this as well. So just do a strip all the way down. All right, there we go. Again, we got a nice path. We can't accidentally get off here. So that's looking pretty good. Next step here, we are actually going to set up our lumber mills. So how we're going to do this is we're going to put another layer block here. So just do like another layer. I know it's kind of hard to see. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm actually going to switch to a different block type so you can see what I'm building here, because the glass is kind of getting crazy. So why don't we use clay? We're going to use clay for this. It's not as pretty, but at least you're going to be able to see what I'm doing here. So we're just going to draw a line of clay all the way down. Don't use grass. Whatever you do, do not use grass for this because it's going to affect how we auto click. We don't want to accidentally plant trees where we don't want to plant trees. So we're going to do another layer of this clay here. There we go. And let's do another layer on this side. You can get rid of under this if you want. You don't actually need all this. So you don't actually have to have 2 layers of clay. If you want to get rid of the first layer, that's fine. Totally up to you. I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. And so I'm actually going to skip about, I would say 3 blocks here. You don't have to. And then right here is how we're going to actually set up our lumber mills. See that where it's like this side right here, this darkest gray side where it has another layer of gray above, that will actually be facing you on the actual conveyors, right? So this should look like this facing you. And on this block here, we are going to change it to grass. So that's going to be grass right there. And so we're going to skip 1 block. So we need 1 space of a block. And then we're going to do that again right here and skip a block right there. Skip another block and continue doing this. I'm pretty much just going to place all these first just so I can just do it a little faster. And we got 1 more right there. Okay, so this is the end right here. So I'm going to show you how to end this. Over here, let's go replace our blocks. Let's get our pickaxe out because I'm using an axe. So we don't need to use an axe. So you can see we have all these grass blocks. This is where we're going to be planting our trees. So next step here, I'm not going to plant the trees quite yet, but we will be planting them there. The next step here, though, is I actually want to power these lumber mills, right? So let's go ahead and put some clay blocks here. Let's extend this out just a little bit. We could do like either a side right here. It's just going to be a little easier for me just to do 2 blocks outward. So let's just go ahead and do this. So we got 2 blocks out. We have to have 1 for our conveyor and 1 for our totem. So just do that. Don't use grass just in case. All right, so you see we got our conveyor areas. So I got to actually plant conveyors on all these so that we can connect our coal. All right, so you can see we got our coal areas. Now let's go and put our coal down. We got to power all these. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut into these right here. So just take those 2 blocks out. This is where we're going to actually be collecting our wood. It's going to be a little bit different than you think. Now, if you have a lot of auto farms on your island, you're not going to be able to use this technique. You're going to have to probably look at the next technique I'm going to be showing. But this technique here is going to be a really, really simple way to collect wood. This is actually the way I'm going to be farming just because it's a little bit easier for me to do because it's actually going to work the same with the same exact, you know, key pressors and stuff that I'm going to be using up here. And you can also use this technique even if you don't have an auto key presser or an auto clicker. You're going to still be able to use this technique. So next, what we need to do, we need to actually block this in like that. You don't have to do it the same way, just block it in. You don't have to have a block under it, at least this. Okay, so you just need to have like a little bucket there. It should look like that. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to get 2 conveyors. It's going to be a little weird, okay? It's going to be a little weird. So you need to have this side pointing inwards and the other side they both have to point at each other, because what's going to happen is when this wood drops in, you want it to be right in the center right there. You want it to be around there. So we're going to actually be collecting our wood without a conveyor. Incredibly important. And this is why I was saying, if you have an auto farm already going, turn it off or disable it whenever you're doing wood. Maybe even use totem disablers if you can. So this is actually one of the easiest ones to do. Okay, so you can see that right there. It looks good. So when your items drop out, they're not going to bounce out because we've got this little block here that's going to prevent that from falling out. And there's so many different variants to this design. You can still use it. So now what we need to do is we need to actually make our spawn right here. So let's get our spawn block out, or if you have an obby flag, spawn blocks are so much cheaper than obby start flags. So if you're going to use a spawn point, what you're going to need to do is take that out, build your spawn point against this glass block that's under the conveyor, and then put a conveyor, step on it, obviously. So land on it like that, and then jump off to confirm that it worked. And then just put a conveyor over it. That way, when you drop off, you spawn on top of the conveyor like that, right? Because it's still there. And then at the very end, let's make sure we're dropping off. So make sure this actually falls through like that. And because this is pretty much our last one right here, you can actually drop off right here if you want to, because it doesn't need to be this far. Now, this is not a 2-minute walkway. So, by the time you're at this edge here, the trees will not be ready, but you can still collect the wood that may still be pending that you might have missed. So that's going to be important for this. You will miss some wood. So that's okay, because the next, haul over here, the next time you fall, you're going to collect it again, right? So the next time you drop off here, you're going to be going right here and you're going to collect it again. So I'm going to show you this process right now with completely active. So it'll be somewhat auto. It will be auto tree cutting, but you're still going to be manually planting and collecting like this. So it's just going to be really smooth. Let's go ahead and get our saplings out. You're going to want a lot of saplings for this, but you're not going to need too many. So let's go ahead and get all of, I've got 310, which is plenty. So I'm just going to, spam click here. This is like the first variant of this without any auto clickers, without any key pressers. So you can just do that. And then you're going to drop off, and then you're going to wait obviously 2 minutes. So 2 minutes after this, these will actually grow, and then it's going to auto cut it. It's going to feed it in there. You just need to make sure your coal's feeding in. Yep, your coal's working fine. But you can see, you just check inside to make sure, coal's burning, and it looks like it's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much wait for our trees to grow for a minute, and then we're going to go and switch from this version to the automated version. But this is actually a really easy farm to do. This is way easier than my previous farm. So, previously I had this whole process where you have an axe and stuff and you break the block, you got to replant it and stuff. This is a lot easier in my opinion, because you don't even have to do any cutting. All you got to do is replant and collect. So that's so much easier. So you might be wondering, DB, why don't you just use in and output chests? Well, the problem is this: in and output chests cannot work with 2 different object types. So if I were to do this, right? And if I were to go over here and I had some saplings in here from when it cuts plus some wood, if I drop wood in here like this, take a look at the wood. It's not going in because the first block in here is an oak sapling. Now, alternatively, if you didn't care about your oak saplings, you figure, well, I can replace oak saplings all day long. I don't really care if they despawn. Then you could do that. You could do it like this instead, and you could have your oak saplings here, right? If your saplings come in instead, then they obviously won't pass through. But if your wood comes through, then it's obviously going to pass through. So that is really up to you. If you really want to take the risk of losing all your saplings over time because they will despawn because they're not getting picked up by the input-output chest, that's completely up to you, right? But look so we just got a little bit here. So it looks like some of them grew. You might have some issues if trees are too big, like this one didn't spawn yet. But here's how we're going to do it. So we're going to come through here. We're going to select this, and we're going to be spamming the left click, and we're going to be spamming the F key, right? So if you're manually harvesting this, you pretty much do it like this. You never have to go inside of a chest. So I'm just spamming the F key, and I'm spamming the left click, right? So you're probably hearing it in the background. I'm just spamming those keys, and this is how you can manually do it. So if it was really long, maybe you had a really, really long farm, you could really do this. You can even, if you at least have an auto clicker, you can at least auto click the planting and just, spam the F key over and over. Totally up to you. Now what I want to show you is I'm actually going to completely automate this. Again, I kind of wish we could use an input-output chest so you could be completely hands-off and, not really miss anything. Plus it's, going to be way better, especially if you have like a big farm already. You have to use the chest approach to avoid despawn. So let's go ahead and set up our auto clicker. If you watch this build, it's the same exact concept. This is the same exact concept as this. So you remember I was hitting F to actually collect stuff, and then I was also left clicking to replant. If you didn't watch that video, I will link it in the description. It is a powerful, powerful farm. I use that for seasonal crops that do not have totems. So because that's the only way to automate that. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's get our auto key presser. And yeah, it looks like we're already cutting some. So it's going actually pretty quick. I would actually say these are growing faster than 2 minutes. They might be. Okay, so now we got this. We're going to pretty much select this, and we're just going to put our mouse right here, and I'm just gonna not even touch my mouse. So I'm not touching this thing right now. This is completely automated. So you see I missed one wood piece right there. I missed a couple right there. If you have to adjust it because maybe your camera angle is weird, just go ahead and, you know, move it. There we go. You can see we're getting a lot more now. So you just need to adjust it, and we're about to arrive to the end here. Dropping down. Now we're back to where we were. So it's working completely. So at this point, you could pretty much, you know, stand up and walk away if you'd like. I honestly don't think you need a macro because, you know, it is a couple minute cycle. Now, if your character is facing backwards when you respawn like this, it can cause an issue with your drops. So I'm gonna show you what I mean real quick while I do this real fast. I'm just gonna kind of run through here. If you come to this edge right here backwards, watch what's gonna happen. See how your character's kind of stuck on the conveyor? What you're gonna need to do is if it's doing that, go ahead and pause your macro. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to rotate your spawn point here. Make sure your spawn point is facing the correct way. And so to test that, just, you know, land on it, jump off. You see I'm facing the wrong way still. Let's just take it out again and then rotate it twice. Drop down, jump off. Now we're facing the correct way. So then just replant your conveyor down like that, and we're back in business. So now we can actually continue where we were. So just resume, and we're back in business. So we are auto farming wood. Look at this. We're doing about like 1 per second right now. It's not very fast, but the other thing you could do is you can actually double stack this if you'd like. So if you want to do like a way bigger version of this, we're using the same technique. I will actually show you in a video. You can actually stack this. So I will show you a layered version of this pretty soon. I might fine tune a few things, but man, this is going to be so much easier. Now, I don't think you're getting any kind of like wood experience or wood cutting experience for this. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but you can see I'm not getting any kind of experience from that. So it might need to go towards forging, but it's not even using forging. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be getting any XP for this. So it's still better to, you know, pretty much manually, you know, farm this stuff if you can. But if you really want an automated, you know, format, just do this. You can see my characters, you know, it's falling off perfectly. We're replanting good. We got our tree planting going. Now, you don't really want this farm to be too long. So if you want to do a multi-layered version, you could. You don't, like I said, you don't really want it to be too long because you're going to start getting despawn. So the longer it takes for you to actually, you know, pick up your items. In this case, I'm getting everything. So it does look like some of the harder trees do take a lot longer to be cut. So I'm noticing like here, like a lot of these trees actually take way longer to cut. And I think it may be based on how much damage it can make per second to the trees. So don't be alarmed if stuff's not cutting for a while, especially if you're doing like maple or hickory. I did notice I was kind of alarmed. I thought it was bugged for a moment, but see, like some of these actually just take a lot longer. So if you're doing oak, it's like one hit, it's like instantaneous. If you do like maple, see how long that one took? This one just finally popped. So did this one. It took a lot longer than usual, but typically like some of the, so this one just finished. I don't know, it's weird timing. It looks like some of them just get caught up. It's kind of weird. You know, I think the pine might be instantaneous. This is certainly an easy farm for me to use because I don't need that much wood, and we're actually getting a lot from this. So let's see how much we actually get here. So we just got 5 hickory from that. We got some maple here. We got 3 maple from that one. We got 3 maple from that one as well. So it's a great farm. I'm actually going to be making a multi-leveled version of this eventually. If you want to see that video, let me know in the comments. I will actually probably make a slightly different version. But again, I'm trying to avoid having to use macros because a lot of people because a lot of people don't like having to use macros. They do require a little bit more advanced technique. And, you know, it's complete automation. Whereas this, you just need an auto key presser and an auto clicker. Now, if you have like a Logitech mouse or, you know, like some of these HP mice and some of the like most mice actually have auto key processors and auto clickers. So definitely check your mouse software if you're trying to look for one. It might actually have the ability to set up macros too. So definitely check out your mouse if you're on a computer. Now, if you're on Android, I think all you need to do is just click. So as long as you have some kind of auto clicker set up on Android, it should be fine. I think you could pretty much just have this, you know, selected and the little hand comes up. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure you can just keep clicking the hand over and over and over. So wherever the buttons are, so just keep your pointer pretty much in the same spot here, run through, and it should actually auto harvest for you. I'll have to double check that on my Android. iOS users, unfortunately, just like me, we don't have the ability to auto click. So pretty much what you're gonna have to do is just be an active farmer. But you can use these conveyors just like, you know, anything else. So just click, 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 click. You can also set up a recipe. So Google, if you want to check out how to like auto click on iOS, it is limited, so you can't actually like, you know, macro it, but you can actually like pre-queue up a bunch of clicks to save your fingers from getting tapped to death. Check out like recipe auto clicker on Google or YouTube, and there should be a bunch of like tutorials on how to set up, you know, recipes for helping you auto click on iOS. It's like I said, it's kind of like pre-queued. It's not like it's not infinite. It's not like an infinite loop. It's pretty much just like you can preload a bunch of clicks. It's kind of weird, but you can research that and figure out how to set it up for your phone and tablets. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new, and good luck with your auto wood farms. I'm eager to see how it works for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.